Hey, welcome to Trout Camp. In today's video, I wanted to do my first impressions on my brand new 2024 Ski Doo Skandic with the 900 Ace and the 20-inch track. Just to address this right off the bat, I am not sponsored by Ski Doo at all. I bought the snowmobile at retail value, and this is my unbiased opinion and first impression on the snowmobile. So let's get into it.
Living on wild and free.
So the reason why I bought this snowmobile is here in northern Canada, there is limited road access, and most areas are actually only accessible by snowmobile, boat, or airplane. And here where I'm at is about 60 miles from the drop-off point, and there's no other road access around. So this is a very remote location, and I needed a snowmobile that I could trust, that could get me wherever I needed to go and safely back. And so before I bought this snowmobile, there's the Expedition model and the Scandic model, and I did a lot of research into both of those units because I knew that I wanted the 900 Ace power plant, and I just wasn't sure on the different suspension of the Expedition compared to the Scandic. The Scandic has what's called a pogo style suspension, where the skis are closer together, and the actual suspension is just purely a piston. And this is advantageous for being able to cut and maneuver in deep powder, say like in the woods when you want to travel in between trees, those sorts of things. And the biggest part for me is the ability to handle slush or overflow on lakes where the amount of snow is actually pushing the ice below the water surface, and a layer of water has formed between the ice and the snowpack. Where I did a lot of research on the reviews and that sort of thing, seeing what people had to say about it. And the Expedition, that's where the Expedition really struggles, is in those types of scenarios. It doesn't like to cut very well, and also the front end digs in more in slush or deep powder. Now, to address the tippiness of the snowmobile, I felt that it was very over exaggerated online after doing research. I was actually quite nervous about it. It sounded like it was quite dangerous, that the tippiness of it, those sorts of things, the reviews were quite negative in regards to that. But, you know, from my minimal experience, I've driven it about a little over 100 kilometers, which is over 60 miles now. I haven't had a lot of experience in different snow conditions. I would say this is probably the worst for the snowmobile, that there's minimal snow. It felt very safe, actually. It felt very stable. And I never felt that even at any different speed that I was going to lose control, you know, driving in other people's ruts. The sled does kind of want to get thrown around a little bit more, and you do feel that it is a bit tippy. So I wouldn't suggest buying this and thinking it could be trail driven. It's not made for that at all. And if you're thinking you'd like to go on the trail even just a little bit, you might want to consider the Expedition. Power delivery of the 900 Ace was really phenomenal. It blew me out of the water. I thought because of the four-stroke engine, that the low end, the low torque was going to be lagging. But this thing has plenty of power. You know, in sport mode, I actually was able to do wheelies. I wasn't even trying to do them. I just kind of cracked the throttle, you know, and it just popped right off the air. It surprised me a lot, and I am definitely learning to ease into things with the snowmobile. And that brings me into my next point, is being able to transition. Now this is true for any of the like a Scandic or Expedition, is that you're able to actually choose the modes, which I find really great, that I can put it into normal or sport mode while I'm towing and I need that extra power. And then when I'm just hole hopping, finding different spots here to fish while I'm out here, I can put it into eco mode. I can sip on fuel. I think that's a great idea, and It's been really phenomenal where with when I'm just hole hopping, I'm going slow. I don't need a lot of power. And if I had it always in sport mode, if that was the only option, it would just feel way too much power and it'd be so hard to, handle just, being able to putt along and those sorts of things. There is two different gears. So you have your low gear and you have your high gear. And so you can transition to, like, you can use eco mode on low gear and just crawl, have tons of low end torque. It is a phenomenal towing machine. With my sleigh in normal mode in high gear, I'm towing probably 300, maybe 350 pounds, and I had no problem. Now this isn't very deep powder, it's actually very easy towing conditions, but still, I didn't feel whatsoever that the sled was lagging, and I really enjoyed towing with it, and also stopping was no problem at all. I felt I was in total control. Well, that just about does it for this video. I really appreciate you watching all the way until the end. If you have any comments or questions, please put them below and I'll get back to you as quickly as I can. And as always, keep living high, wild, and free.